You have just become the owner of a large lottery win. This news sounds like the beginning of a new life. Thoughts of expensive cars, travels, the idea that now you can quit your job and never worry about bills again are flashing in your head. But do not rush to celebrate. In reality, from this moment, everything is only just beginning. The stories of many lottery winners show that sudden wealth is not only a gift of fate, but also a source of countless problems, lawsuits, envy, betrayal, scammers, and sometimes even threats to life. To get through all this, you need to act cautiously and with a cool head. The first rule to remember: do nothing. You should not tell anyone about your win, not even your closest friends or relatives. Do not quit your job and do not drop out of school. Do not buy expensive cars or houses. Do not rush to claim the prize. You have time. In most U.S. states, several months are given to come forward. For example, in California, you have 180 days, and this time must be used wisely. The most important thing right now is to protect your ticket. Losing it means losing everything. Such cases have already happened. 7 people who had won millions lost their chance to receive the money. 3 of them did not even survive the consequences. To avoid this, sign the ticket on the back. Make several copies, take photos of it, and record a video where you are holding it. Then put it in a secure container that is both waterproof and fireproof. After that, store the container in a bank's safe deposit box. Only then can you at least relax a little. The next step is preparing for the future. It is impossible to manage alone. You need a specialist. There are lawyers who call themselves lottery attorneys. Their services are expensive, hundreds of thousands of dollars up front and tens of thousands each month. Such a lawyer will set up accounts, protect your interests, and handle tax optimization. When the lawyer starts working for you, the first news may not be pleasant. You will find out that in your state, anonymity cannot be preserved. In California, for example, the law requires that the winner's name be made public, and no clever schemes like trusts will help. Your name will become public knowledge, and you need to be ready for that. Meanwhile, your normal life goes on. Your boss calls you and scolds you for being late. You may feel tempted to drop everything and slam the door, but you cannot act that way. It is better to calmly write a resignation letter giving 2 weeks' notice. Leaving properly helps you avoid unnecessary conflicts and possible lawsuits from colleagues. Now you need to think about protecting your identity. First of all, delete all your social media. Get a new phone number, a new email address. Set up a P.O. box so your home address does not appear anywhere. All this will help you stay hidden from outsiders. But the most dangerous threat often comes from where you expect at least your own family. There was a case when one man won $20 million. He invested the money in a business, helped his relatives, and seemed to be doing everything right. But 9 years later, he was killed by a family member. This is why it is so important to establish clear rules in advance.
Decide immediately what portion of your winnings you're willing to allocate to family support. Set up a separate trust. Then the money will be managed by the lawyer, and you can calmly answer relatives' requests by saying, "I have no access. Everything is handled by the trustee." This will save you from unnecessary pressure and conflicts. Once you have decided how much you are ready to give your relatives, you can move to the next stage. The day comes when it is time to present the ticket. For many, this is the most exciting moment, and this is where most mistakes are made. Lottery companies love to hold press conferences where the winner is handed a huge cardboard check under dozens of camera flashes. It seems like a celebration and joy, but in reality, it is a trap. When your face and name appear on the front page of newspapers next to the amount you have won, it is like an open invitation for scammers, extortionists, and even those who might think they could profit from your death. History knows many examples where happy winners, smiling in photos, had no idea that soon they would become victims of crimes. One man won $1 million, posed for the press, and a month later died of poisoning. His fortune went to relatives, and his last meal had been prepared by one of them. This is why attending a press conference is the worst thing you can do. There are ways to reduce the risks. Arrive in a rented car so the license plate is hidden, or wear a disguise. But the smartest move is not to appear at all. Attendance is not mandatory. The check with your name will still be shown in the news, while you quietly collect the real document at the lottery office without cameras. Now you have the official document in your hands. But the joy quickly fades when you see the amount. It turns out the real figure is much lower than advertised. The reason is simple. There are 2 options for receiving winnings. The first is an annuity, where money is paid in installments over almost 30 years. The second is a lump sum, where you get the money immediately, but the size is about half of the total amount. And that is still not all. In the United States, lottery winnings are taxed. A portion is withheld immediately, but the rest will have to be paid separately. Without a competent accountant, it is very easy to fall into a trap and lose most of your fortune. In the end, from 200 million, you are left with around 70. Of course, that is still a colossal sum, but the feeling is different. At this point, your life changes completely. The phone does not stop ringing. Relatives, friends, acquaintances, everyone wants to know if you are really the winner. The media has reported only the name, but not yet shown the face. You can admit it to your closest ones, but even here you should be cautious. It is better to sign non-disclosure agreements to protect yourself from leaks. When the check is cashed, you see an amount on your account that feels unreal. The main thing is to choose the right bank. The best choice is a large one, where there is protection and stability. But even there lies a nuance. Only $250,000 is insured by the government. Everything above that is at risk. However, the likelihood of loss is minimal. After the crisis of 2008, uninsured depositors lost money in only 6% of cases. And giants such as Chase or Wells Fargo are considered systemically important banks. This means the government stands behind them, and it would take a catastrophe to bring them down. Even if your money is now in a relatively safe place, it is too early to relax. The next step is the distribution of funds. It is not wise to keep everything in one account. It is smarter to place part of the capital into trusts and investments. Suppose $40 million goes under the management of the lawyer and his team. With a conservative 6% return, this will bring in about $200,000 each month. Another $10 million can be directed into a family trust, while the remaining $20 can be used as personal capital for living and pleasures. The first thing every winner thinks about is housing. You begin looking at mansions, and your choice falls on a luxurious home in Los Angeles worth $10 million. It has everything one could dream of: a spacious bedroom with an ocean view, a huge wine cellar, an infinity pool, and even a private cinema. Now you can afford practically any toy: expensive watches, stylish clothes, rare cars. But wealth brings not only material joys. For the first time, you understand why wealthy people live longer. Now you can pay for any medical procedures, and you can even hire a personal doctor who will be ready to come at any time for $20,000 a year. Add to this a world-class trainer at $300 per session and a chef who takes care of your nutrition. All this relieves stress and provides a sense of safety. However, the calm does not last long. One day the lawyer calls. He helped you buy the house through a trust to keep anonymity, but internet detectives somehow managed to trace the property back to your name. Soon journalists begin publishing your photos, secretly taken during daily life. Your face and address become public knowledge. And now the phone rings not only with calls from people you know. Letters and calls start coming from complete strangers. The mailbox overflows with stories where people tell you about their hardships and ask for $5,000 or $10,000. Some even show up at your doorstep. At such a moment, it becomes clear: bodyguards are no longer optional. History knows many cases where lottery winners ended tragically. One man won $30 million, and sometime later his own business partner killed him and buried the body in the yard. Another, who won a major prize in Brazil, was kidnapped during an ordinary walk. Yet another was killed when armed robbers broke into his home and shot him right in front of his children. Fortunately, you have an advantage. Your house stands in a neighborhood where other wealthy people live, and the environment is better protected. But even luxurious walls cannot shield you from another threat: pressure from the people you personally know. Friends and acquaintances start asking for money, and refusing becomes difficult. Guilt builds up slowly. In addition, expenses themselves are colossal. Maintaining the mansion costs $50,000 every month. Car maintenance is as expensive as an average annual salary. Add to that the salaries of staff, chef, trainer, doctor, security. Monthly expenses soar far into six figures. And then another kind of danger appears on the horizon. Now you are attacked not by the poor, but by the wealthy. Financial advisors try to convince you to give them a percentage of your capital, promising unique strategies that often perform worse than the ordinary market. Other acquaintances begin proposing genius business ideas requiring investments. Soon you begin to feel not like a person, but like a walking ATM. Over time, it becomes clear that the main trial for a lottery winner is not taxes or investments, but the people around: relatives, friends, acquaintances, strangers, and even so-called professionals will see not a human being in you, but a wallet. And eventually comes the moment of your downfall when you feel far worse than before, your life collapsing. Many call the lottery a curse, and the truth is that most likely it is. You could have lived much more peacefully in your current life, working, building up your capital, and learning how to handle money. And over time, you would have learned to manage it. In the end, money is far from the most important thing.